Masks are the medicine and how we will defeat the virus, protect ourselves and our fellow neighbors. According to a review published in the Lancet Journal, physical distancing by at least 3 feet alone can reduce risk by 82%. Face coverings alone decrease risk by 85%. Hand washing alone decrease risk by 50%. When all three are done together, it is up to 95% protection. Through the efforts of our public health team, Riverside County has purchased 10 million masks. We are partnering with nonprofits, the business community, and houses of worship to get these masks out to the community. We know we have experienced significant job losses, with the most severely impacted sectors in Riverside County being leisure and hospitality at 44,370 jobs, mainly within hotels and restaurants. Retail trade, 15,820 jobs, mainly in stores. And health and education, 10,730 jobs with non-essential medical services, dental visits scaled back. Wearing masks will help protect each other from contracting the virus and also get more people back to work. This is one part of our community action plan to fight and contain the disease, with more to come. With that, I'd like to say a few words in Spanish as well. Buenos días. Les saluda el supervisor Víctor Manuel Pérez, presidente de la Junta de Supervisores del Condado de Riverside. Hoy estamos anunciando el lanzamiento de una campaña y un gran compromiso para combatir esta pandemia. Estamos comprometidos con usar máscara, ya que por ahora este es el medicamento que necesitamos para protegernos y derrotar al virus. A través de los esfuerzos del equipo del Departamento de Salubridad, el Condado de Riverside ha comprado 10 billones de máscaras. No hemos asociado con organizaciones no lucrativos, negocios y iglesias para distribuir estas máscaras en la comunidad. Sabemos que hemos experimentado una gran pérdida de empleos, por lo que usar máscaras no solo evita el contagio, sino que ayuda a las personas a volver al trabajo. Esto es solo un paso en nuestro plan de acción comunitario para combatir y controlar el virus. Próximamente daremos a conocer más detalles y muchísimas gracias a todos ustedes. Thank you very much.
Pandemic. It is with this backdrop that I come before you again with a similar message, but this time with something to give you beyond words. The masks that will help us stop the spread. Riverside County is giving out 10 million masks over the next 30 days. The goal of the Masks Are Medicine campaign is to give masks to every Riverside County resident who wants one. We are not doing this alone. We're asking community partners, nonprofits, businesses, schools, faith-based organizations, and others to help pass out these free masks. We know that using masks help prevent the spread of coronavirus, and along with social distancing and hand washing, have an up to 95% success rate. With our partners, we can get masks onto the faces of hundreds of thousands of Riverside County residents, some of whom may not have the financial means to easily buy them on their own. We also know that this disease has a disproportionate impact on communities of color, and we don't want access to face coverings to contribute to that. We will be working closely to ensure that many of these masks get into the hands of those hard-to-reach populations. We will also be passing out masks at our 14 coronavirus testing sites, both county and state-run locations that are spread throughout Riverside County. Each person who gets tested will receive a package containing masks, an informational flyer, and a pledge to wear the face covering. Each day, we will give out tens of thousands of masks at our testing locations. Our top priority is to protect the health of Riverside County residents, but it is critical that we stop the spread to help eventually reopen all segments of the economy. Riverside County has lost tens of thousands of jobs during this pandemic, and the local economy has been seriously impacted. We all want the economy to recover, and we have to get this virus under control. Remember, where people live, work, and play affects health in a very profound way. Public health and the economy go hand in hand. So how does wearing a mask improve the economy? When we can get all Riverside County residents to wear a mask and practice social distancing and wash their hands frequently, then we will see that we can stop the spread of the virus and watch as our economy surges. Thank you all, and let's wear those masks.
Thank you, Kim. Next, we will hear from Dr. Jeffrey Leung, Director of Ambulatory Care from the Riverside University Health System Clinics.
Thank you, Brooke. As Supervisor Perez and our Public Health Director, Kim Saruatari, have shared, we are excited that Riverside County will be giving away 10 million masks as part of a new Masks Are Medicine campaign. This will help us make sure that everyone in our community who needs a mask can have a mask. And if you already have face covers or cloth masks, please continue using those. And we thank you for doing so. For 5 months, we have seen how COVID hurts our businesses, paralyzes our economy, disrupts our schools, hampers our social lives, and stresses our families. We believe that as a county and as a community, we are at a crossroads, and we need to make a choice. The first option is to continue on this path of toggling back and forth, caught in a state of perpetual uncertainty and emotional exhaustion, not knowing if we can work or when our children can go back to school, or when we can see our family or loved ones. This first option is stressful, disruptive, and not a good way to live. The second option is that we can decide that enough is enough, and that as a community, we will take control of the pandemic. And by doing so, we can reverse the rise in cases and create certainty for our businesses, schools, houses of worship, and neighborhoods to reopen quickly and safely. We believe that as a community, we all want to take this second pathway. And the good news is, we know we can do it. We have learned a lot about COVID during the first 5 months, and we now know how to control the virus. We do not need to sit helplessly and let COVID run its course. In fact, we believe that with all of your help, we can reverse the rise in COVID cases in Riverside County within the next 30 days. The reason we've chosen 30 days is because it can take 2 to 3 weeks before we can see a change in cases following a change in behavior. As we have said before, because we do not have a vaccine or a cure today for COVID, masks are one of the safest, cheapest, and most effective ways to prevent the spread of infection. As our Public Health Director, Kim Sarutari, shared, we now know that the combination of good hand washing, physical distancing, and covering the face can decrease our risk for infection by 95%. If we had a medicine that could decrease our risk of getting COVID by 95%, everyone would be taking it. And this is why we want to treat masks as our medicine. The Masks Are Medicine campaign is the first part of our new COVID Community Action Plan, which we will be sharing more about next week. By making masks freely available, we want to make the safe choice the easy choice. Some people may say that it seems like we are already doing a good job wearing masks and face covers at work and at grocery stores, and we would agree. However, where we believe we still have an opportunity to do better is outside of work and outside of the grocery stores. We know that one of the main drivers of spread continues to be unprotected social gatherings, including birthday parties, celebrations, and informal gatherings of friends and families from different households. Just as it may now feel normal to wear a mask at the grocery store or at work, it may still feel strange to wear a mask around people who we love and trust. We naturally let our guard down when we are with friends and family, and we do not believe that our closest friends and family will infect us or that we will infect them. But we forget that 40% of infections are from silent spread, and we know that people who look and feel perfectly healthy are spreading the infection to others. We also know that 1 in 7 people who get tested in Riverside County are COVID positive. So we need to assume that anyone can have COVID, including our family, friends, and loved ones. In order to help remind us all, we are asking people to join the fight by making a pledge or promise to wear a face cover whenever we leave our homes and to avoid social gatherings. Starting today, you can now go to pledgetofightcovid.com to sign the pledge and learn more about how you can help us stop the spread and control the pandemic in Riverside County. If each person can encourage one other person in remembering to cover the face and avoid social gatherings, we are confident that we can reverse the rise in cases during the next 30 days and help our businesses, schools, houses of worship, and neighborhoods reopen safely and quickly. In this way, the health of our economy, the health of our businesses, the health of our schools, the health of our families, and the health of our communities are all tied together. Thank you for helping us take care of our community and helping us to take care of one another.
Thank you, Dr. Leung. We will next hear from Aaliyah Rodriguez, CEO of the Corona Norco United Way.
Good afternoon. I first want to thank everyone for being here today to spread this great message to our community. My name is Aaliyah Rodriguez, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the Corona Norco United Way. I didn't prepare a script because I wanted to talk to you all specifically about how nonprofits can help leverage our partnerships with county resources, city resources, and other nonprofits so that we can get these masks to the people that need it the most. Part of our organization is serving underserved populations, and I'm talking about the folks that don't have access to internet, that don't have cell phones, that don't have transportation, that don't have funding, that don't have the things that I think some of us take for granted every single day. So as a nonprofit, we are literally out in the community, in the streets, delivering food, providing these kinds of supplies. To be able to partner with the county to receive these masks so that we can use our youth board, our board of directors, and our contacts in the Corona Norco, Northwest Riverside County area is going to be incredible to get these masks into the hands of the people that need them the most. A few things just about our organization is we're seeing a lot of the firsthand ramifications of what this pandemic has done to our community. Obviously, the children are not allowed to go back to school in person, and we're starting to see that weigh on them mentally, weigh on them emotionally. And part of what we're trying to do is by partnering with the county is if we give these masks to families and we all do our part, we wear our mask, then in a short amount of time, we could start to see the cases go down, and then we can get kids back to school and return to some sense of normalcy, or whatever that normalcy looks like for today's society. But I want to say that this is incredible for us as a small nonprofit. We also service a lot of the county areas of Home Gardens, Temescal Valley, El Cerrito, and Coronita, in addition to the cities that we serve as a nonprofit. A lot of these folks, while we may think that there is, everyone has a mask these days, I can drive through the streets of where our community is and see that people don't have masks. And part of that is access. So part of what we're going to do starting today when I get back to the office is we're going to take our boxes of masks and we're going to start driving around to the community, giving them to small businesses, giving them to vendors that are on the streets, giving them to people that we see that don't have masks so that they can send a good message and they can help prevent the spread of COVID. So I want to thank you all again for allowing us to be here and speak on behalf of the nonprofits, and I look forward to more partnerships in our community to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaliyah. Our next speaker is Debbie Espinosa, CEO of Find Food Bank.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here. Find Food Bank is the National Feeding America member that serves the deserts as the Deserts Regional Food Bank for the Eastern Riverside County, Palm Springs, Coachella Valley area. As the Deserts Regional Food Bank, whose mission is to alleviate food insecurity and end hunger in our area, we have seen the devastating effects of COVID-19 and its economic impact in our community. Within 6 weeks of the orders for sheltering at home, we moved from feeding over 90,000 people on average every month to over 190,000 people every month. And it still continues. I remember hearing a story from one of our clients in line early on when there was still a lot of confusion with regards to what type of services and aid would be out there in order to be able to help those that were affected with this pandemic. And he told me, I'm here to pick up food for my family, but we have 3 generations in the household, and it's not for me because I want to make sure that I'm feeding my mother-in-law and my children and my wife first. And so he was going to make sure that everyone was fed before him. And it was the weight of that and the stories that we're hearing online that really bring to reality what is happening in our communities with regards to the economic impact and the severity of what's happening in our communities today. We have moved from over 1 million meals per month to almost 2 million meals per month in order to be able to accommodate for the demand and increase that we're seeing out in our community in Eastern Riverside County. And while our food bank is humbled and inspired by the work that we're doing in the community, along with the over 100 community organizations that serve as our community pantry network and over 140 sites that we're distributing food out to. We also know that decreasing hunger in our valley is not just about feeding them, but also bringing back very safely and quickly in an environment that will allow us to rebuild our economy again. As Supervisor Perez said early on to start this out, one of the hardest hit economies was our tourism industry, which everybody knows in Riverside County, that's what our Eastern Coachella Valley has as one of its primary industries, along with the agricultural community as well. So that's why Find, and on behalf of its over 100 nonprofit organization and social services networks that serve to be able to feed our community, over 140 sites, we are so thankful for Riverside County's response to ensure that everyone in Riverside County, in the most marginalized communities and in our furthest reaching areas of the county, will not just have equitable access to food, but also equitable access to the masks that are necessary for us to be able to safely rebuild our economy again and to be able to find our economy growing and thriving like it has, to be able to allow people to find themselves self-sufficiently feeding themselves again in support of Fine Food Bank and our work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Debbie. And our last speaker is going to be Lou Monville from the Riverside County Economic Recovery Task Force. And with him today is Paul Granillo from the Inland Empire Economic Partnership.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to be with you all today. The Economic Recovery Task Force continues to be pleased to partner with the Riverside County Board of Supervisors and everyone in Riverside County to get life back to normal here in Riverside County. You know, fighting the virus and economic recovery are not mutually exclusive. Since the inception of this task force, we've distributed nearly 1 million masks to businesses and other users to make sure that we can all operate safely and protect our friends and neighbors. I know many of us have COVID fatigue. I know I feel it. The disruption this virus has caused in our daily lives is dramatic, and it's a daily struggle for us all. But let us be clear. Without safe public health practices, there will be no economic recovery. If we want to protect our friends and neighbors, if we want to protect businesses and workers providing essential services, if we want our kids to be able to return to school and have our lives return to something that we know is more normal, we just must exercise these simple practices. Cover your face, maintain 6 feet of space, and wash your hands frequently. A functioning economy requires that we fight this virus. Many of our friends and neighbors are really hurting as unemployment has reached the highest levels since those of the Great Recession. 85% of those jobs have been lost in only 5 sectors. Leisure and hospitality, which hits me and some of my colleagues very close to home. Retail, health, education, professional and business services, and other services, professional services, things we all need, hair salons, nail salons, massage. These folks are really hurting. And those folks that are hurting in particular tend to be at the lower socioeconomic of the scale, and folks that we have been working hard in this county to uplift as we grow the economy. Economic recovery rests upon every one of us. If we fight the virus, we can reopen the economy and we can keep it open. We fight the virus with medicine, and in the absence of a vaccine, these masks are the medicine. So please, cover your face, maintain that 6 feet of social distancing, and wash your hands frequently. Thank you.
On behalf of the Inland Empire Economic Partnership, which is a public-private nonprofit that brings together the large employers of Riverside and San Bernardino counties, I want to thank the Board of Supervisors for the County of Riverside for their focus on keeping us safe and helping the economy to return. Lou Monville, who chairs the Riverside County Recovery Task Force, doing a wonderful job. Want to point to a study that was commissioned by the Inland Empire, by the County of Riverside, focused on the effects of COVID-19 on the County of Riverside. In just 3 months, we're talking about a $3 billion hit to the economy of Riverside. And in order for us to recover that back, you're looking up to 1.5 years. And if we don't wear masks, if we don't take the COVID-19 seriously, it will extend the length of that economic hit to the County of Riverside. As Lou talked about the sectors that have been hurt the most, retail, trade, education, leisure and hospitality, and personal services. And what do they have in common? They are face-to-face sectors. They require people to interact. And so in order for us to have them, again, be able to employ residents of Riverside County, for them to be able to, our businesses to be successful in providing the services, we need not to give in to COVID-19 fatigue. We need, if the economy is going to recover, we have to control the virus. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou and Paul. With that, we'll open up for questions from the media. All right. Yes. Absolutely. It cost $2 million to purchase 10 million masks. The funding is part of Riverside County's allocation of the CARES Act funding from the federal government. Any other questions? Okay, with that, we have several nonprofits who are here with us today who will be taking these boxes back with them to their organizations. We have houses of worship, schools also here with us. If you need any stand-up interviews, please let us know. Thank you.
Going into action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jose Arbayo. We're going to get Kim Sarawatari, the Director of Public Health. One. Can we grab, who do you want us to grab first, Kim?
No, let her do something.
Okay.
Why don't we grab her? She's got to leave. She's from Mount St. Center College.
Okay.
And then
Are they distributing masks at their campus, or?
they're going to be doing it later on. They got an event.
And we appreciate you watching our live coverage here of the Masks Are Medicine live press conference in front of the County Administrative Center here in downtown Riverside. The CIC was the place to be. In fact, we had a good turnout here with a lot of nonprofits involved, a lot of dignitaries here from the County of Riverside, and a lot of our partners from around the county, because again, it's going to take a big effort from a lot of our friends across Riverside County to make sure we distribute 10 million masks in 30 days. Now, Patrick, we're going to interview someone from Mount San Jacinto College right now. She's right over here. I don't know how much length you got, but I'm going to slowly back up as we make our way down here. Again, because the live press conference just wrapped up here, and we appreciate you watching live on our mini County of Riverside social media platforms, the City of Riverside as well. We appreciate their support. And again, a lot of our friends from across Riverside County are getting involved here with the Masks Are Medicine giveaway, 10 million masks to distribute, including our friends at Mount San Jacinto College. And first off, because we're just throwing you live on the air, sorry to ambush you here, but what's your name?
My name's Beth Gomez. I'm the Vice President of Business Services at Mount San Jacinto College.
And Beth, from what we understand, Mount San Jacinto MSJC will have an event coming up where, again, you're going to help the County of Riverside pass out a lot of these masks.
Yes, on August 12th and 13th, we are going to have a welcome back drive-through with our students. We've been disconnected with them for 3 months. So it's going to be really nice. They're going to drive through. We're going to do a lot of things for them, food giveaways, masks. It's just another thing that we can do for our students and our families. We have over 10,000 students that are going to attend these 2 days of drive-through. So this is a great opportunity to get these distributed to them.
And as we heard from many of the speakers today, to reopen businesses, to get students back in the classroom, we all got to do our part, and that includes right now wearing the face covering. So if we want to see students in the desk at MSJC, we got to wear masks, right?
That's absolutely, and we are training our allied health in the county, our nurses, our EMTs, so it's really important that we have these masks so that they can come and get their certifications that they desperately need to reemploy here in our county.
Well, Beth, we appreciate your time and thank you for your partnership. We're big friends with MSJC, so thank you for coming out today.
County, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
All right, so that was Beth from MSJC. Now we've got Aaliyah Rodriguez, the CEO from Corona Norco United Way. And Aaliyah, you know, again, this is a very special day. We want to make sure that everyone out there in Riverside County who needs a mask, who wants a mask, has access to a mask. We've got 10 million. We need the United Way's help to get those masks out there.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And so that's why we're going to leverage our partnerships in the community. We have partnerships with other nonprofits. We have partnerships with businesses. We have our own personal families. We have kids. We have access to school district. And we're just going to be a force multiplier and just get this word out there and get all these masks out there as quickly as we can within those 30 days, hopefully sooner.
Now, you've noticed, obviously, through this live press conference that you just watched, that masks are medicine, and it's so important right now, so critical for us to do our part so we can open up businesses and open up schools and all those things where, you know, I think it was Lou Monville from the Economic Recovery Task Force who said, if we do those things, we might get a little bit closer to what we had as normal before all this. So, Aaliyah, just talk about the fact that if we all do our part, we can climb a little bit closer to what we experienced before all the pandemic.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think if we all just do our part, wear the mask, it virtually costs nothing, especially for distributing 10 million masks in the community. Wear your mask, keep the social distancing. If everyone does their part, then we can all go back to normalcy. And one of the things that I do want to highlight, and it's usually an uncomfortable conversation, but one of the things that we do in my center specifically is we support victims of domestic violence. And we have seen a rise in domestic violence, 15 to 20% since April. And we're taking clients in a lot more these days. And I think that that's attributed to people being home, the stressors of today. People aren't working, people aren't making money, and so it's affecting people. So let's do our part so we can all return back to some sense of normalcy, whatever that looks like in the future, right? Yeah. But let's do our part.
Yeah, there are some challenges out there, but thanks to groups like United Way, thank you so much for what you do for Riverside County, and we appreciate you being here today as well.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I look forward to future partnerships. Thank you.
Aaliyah Rodriguez, CEO for the Corona Norco United Way. Patrick, we're going to swing around, bro. Amy, we're going to swing around too. We're so nimble here on Rivco TV because, again, we just had the live press conference. We heard from so many great speakers, and again, masks are medicine, so critical right now. We got Lou Monville, the chair of the Economic Recovery Task Force here for Riverside County. And Lou, I think we all want a slice of normal, but to get there, we got to wear the face coverings right now.
Absolutely. Look, it's the best thing we have to fight the virus, right? And if I can wear a mask and it helps someone keep their job, if I can wear a mask and it helps get someone who's laid off back to work quicker, if I can wear a mask and it helps my little kids get back to school, I'm going to wear a mask.
Now, Lou, I heard you say that at the podium, and I just want to revisit it again because, again, you know, something as simple as wearing a face covering when you go out in public, that could translate into having kids back in the classroom, having small businesses operating like they used to. Maybe it's going back indoors for what they do. But something as simple as this can really change a lot of things.
Absolutely, and protecting those folks. You know, I'm very mindful every time that I go shopping for my family of these fine folks on the front lines who are working at the grocery store, who are keeping the gas stations running. They're in harm's risk and in harm's way every day if we don't do our part. It's the least we can do for them. It's good for the economy. It's good for our fellow man. It's just the right thing to do.
Lou, we appreciate it. Good seeing you today.
Likewise, anytime. You guys keep up the good work.
Lou Monville from our Economic Recovery Task Force here in Riverside County. Again, 10 million masks. Patrick, we're going to swing you around one more time. Why not, right? Again, 10 million masks. And if you do the math, with 2.5 million people roughly in Riverside County, that's about 4 masks per person here in our county. And again, we're trying to distribute these in 30 days, so we need a lot of people's help. We got another live interview here. You just saw the press conference. Who are we speaking with now?
My name is Lowell King with Goodwill, Southern California.
Well, obviously United Way is such a friend of Riverside County, and we need some help right now to distribute 10 million masks. What's the role that United Way can play going forward now?
Well, I'm with Goodwill. Goodwill, Southern California, but we are a trusted partner with the county. We do look for, we serve individuals with extreme barriers to employment. These are individuals with disabilities, at-risk youth, the justice involved, those are experiencing homelessness. That is the individuals we serve. This donation will go a long ways in helping them make sure they're safe. Most of these individuals don't have the ability to work from home, right? They're out in the community, they're out on the front lines, if you will. And this will allow them an opportunity to work safely and be safe.
Yes, because we've got a lot of people who, you know, I know we call them essential. They're out there. They're still performing a lot of functions that we need, including at Goodwill, and the masks go a long ways. I know it sounds just like a simple thing to wear a face covering, but it could go a long way, including allowing people to do their jobs, right?
Absolutely. I mean, nobody likes wearing them. I mean, it's a pain, but it's the simplest thing you could do. I mean, if I was to tell you everything would be over in 30 days if you just wear a mask out in public, my assumption is most people would be on board. That message needs to be brought forward, and we, again, applaud the county for taking this step.
We appreciate it. Thank you to our friends at Goodwill. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, so more live coverage, fast and furious. Patrick, we're going to swing around another time. Amy's got your back right here. We got Debbie Espinoza, CEO of Find Food Bank. And, you know, we heard from United Way, who does such great work from Corona Norco on the west end of Riverside County. Now we kind of travel out towards the Coachella Valley and the eastern end. And Debbie, we need all our friends in all parts of Riverside County to help us with this effort. Masks Are Medicine, to distribute 10 million masks to the residents of Riverside County. Talk about how Find Food Bank is going to help us out.
Well, because Find Food Bank is the Deserts Regional Food Bank and part of the Feeding America National Network, we actually partner with over 100 nonprofit and social services community organizations to set up pantries all over the eastern Coachella Valley. Because we already have a very wide distribution of food networks into, you know, the most heavily and severely impacted communities and food deserts out in Riverside, eastern Riverside area, we have the ability to also send out with food these masks. And so it was a very strategic move by the county to be able to understand how the networking systems are flowing through the community at the very granular level of serving people. A lot of our organizations, the homeless shelters, you know, the LGBTQ centers, all of them have a really strong trust within the community. And when we're supplying them food, we're supplying them the masks too as well. And through that, I think we're going to have a really great way of making sure that everyone has equitable access to these masks.
It's critical to partner with our friends at nonprofits, at businesses, at churches to make sure everyone who wants a mask or needs a mask can have access to a mask. Do you find people who come to the food pantry for items also are asking, hey, where can I get a mask, or are running short, or just like to maybe have an extra one to keep in the car when they go out? Because I know sometimes I forget to just keep one on me at all times.
Yeah, well, like if you can imagine, people that have food insecurity, they're not just struggling for paying for food, they're struggling for paying for other things too as well. A lot of them are in severe situations where they're having an economic impact with regards to their housing and their rent payments. If you can imagine tacking on the purchase of masks on top of that, you know, you're adding like insult to injury right now at this point in time. So anything that we can do to get these masks out for free for some of our most marginalized communities, we want to be able to give them that availability. Yeah, and they do ask like, hey, you know what, like we're starting to go back to work again. They're requiring masks. They're not providing them. What can we do? Because we want to be able to meet those requirements. We want to be able to give them that resource to be able to help them become self-sufficient again too as well. So we're excited for this program.
Well, Debbie, we appreciate the good work you guys do at Find Food Bank, and thank you for coming out today and joining us here on our live broadcast.
You bet. Thank you so much.
All right, that was Debbie Espinoza from Find Food Bank. Here, we're going to back up. Now, we are all over today, Patrick. We had, again, this, I think it just shows the great turnout that we had today during the live stream.
Inland Empire Community Foundation, Michelle Becker.
Michelle, thank you so much. And a handoff by John Welsh, who's part of our public information team, and he does such a great job as well. Michelle, what an important day in terms of Riverside County reopening a lot more of the schools and the businesses, and it can be done by something as simple as wearing a face covering.
Absolutely. This is how we protect each other, and this is how we move our economy forward in our social lives. It's pretty simple. Masks are medicine.
Yeah, and that seems to be the battle cry going forward. The slogan we're going to go with, Masks Are Medicine. We've got 10 million masks to distribute across Riverside County in the next 30 days. So if you need a mask or want a mask, The resources are here through Riverside County. And again, we're partnering with a lot of our friends to make sure that everyone out there who wants one can get one. Talk about maybe the distribution effort, because obviously we can't do it by ourselves with the county. We need friends.
Well, we've got an economic recovery task force for Riverside. We've got nonprofits organized, we've got businesses organized, and we're distributing through those networks. But you're right, people just need to know that they're here. They need to come and get them for themselves, their customers, their employees. Everybody's got to be covered, and we can't make being able to, not being able to purchase it the barrier right now.
Again, the county has partnered with nonprofits, businesses, churches, just trying to make sure that everyone across Riverside County who wants a mask, needs a mask, will get a mask. Michelle, we appreciate the time. Thank you for coming out today.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, County.
All right, so again, it's been a big day. A lot of our friends for coming out. In fact, we're going to get CEO George Johnson. We're going to get one more. George, come on over. Yes, sir. So again, we can see the wall of boxes, and again, they're just full of face coverings because masks are medicine, and we're going to distribute. In fact, already a bunch have been given away just today. We've got 30 days. And George, that's a lot of masks to give away, but we're going to do it because we want to make sure Riverside County is safe.
Oh, absolutely. We are so excited about the engagement that we're getting from the community to help us with this. We recognize that government alone can't convince people to wear masks as medicine, but we know that our community partners, the faith-based community, nonprofit entities, the business community, chambers of commerce, if we all come together, we can really have a positive influence in lessening the spread of this very serious disease. So we're excited, absolutely.
And we heard from all the speakers, and they all kind of echoed the same thing, is that if we want to have kids back in classrooms, if we want to see businesses operating normally, we need to do something as simple as wear a mask. It's one of those three things: wear a mask, social distance, and wash your hands frequently.
You know, when I hear the doctors say that if you could take some medicine that would protect you for 95%, and it's so simple: wear a mask, keep your distance, and wash your hands frequently. It seems pretty simple, right? So we just got to get that message into people's heads, and that they will really adopt that and embrace it. And we can, yeah, right, that's a great point. Get people back to work, get our kids back to school, get the future looking bright again, and give us all hope.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. That is County Chief Executive Officer George Johnson. George, good seeing you, and what a special day out here.
Great to see you again, Pep. All right, take care of yourself. All right.
Thank you very much. That's George Johnson, our CEO. And again, in the backdrop here, we've had a steady flow of cars from our friends at nonprofits. We've got a lot of boxes still being distributed here in front of the CAC. That is the County Administrative Center here for Riverside County. And again, 10 million masks, and I've never been great at math, but if you do the math, 10 million masks, 2.5 million residents in Riverside County, that would average out to about 4 masks per person here in Riverside County. But we couldn't do it by ourselves. You heard today, a lot of nonprofits are stepping up, a lot of businesses, a lot of churches, to make sure that this effort goes great, and everyone who wants a mask or needs a mask will get a mask. And then we're going to continue the live stream, Patrick. In just a second, we're going to do, I'm going to hand it off to Jauska Machado, and she's going to do a couple more interviews for our Spanish audience as well, as we take a live look right now. Again, this is happening live here in downtown Riverside as more of these masks are being distributed. And a good shot of our friends from the Emergency Management Department here for Riverside County helping pass out those masks. So our live stream will continue here as Patrick looks on with more boxes being distributed, as we pass it off to Jauska Machado, and I believe she's going to interview Dr. Jeffrey Leung here, as we saw Dr. Leung also speaking earlier at the press conference. Here is Jauska Machado.
Thank you so much. Good seeing you. Hi, doctor. How are you feeling?
Hi, Jessica. Very well, thank you.
Doctor, talk about the importance of wearing a mask. What does it mean when you wear a mask?
Yeah. So, you know, the meaning of wearing a mask can be manyfold. So first of all, a mask protects not only those people around us, but it also protects the mask wearer. Masks are one of the cheapest, most effective, and easiest ways to reduce the risk of transmission of COVID. And most of all, masks are our way out of this pandemic. Masks are the fastest way for us to reopen our economy. The only thing is, I think sometimes, although we're doing a very good job with masks in certain environments, for instance at work or when we go to the grocery store, we tend to let our guard down when we're with our loved ones. And so I think an opportunity for us is when we're thinking about family and friends, we actually need to use the same precautions because we have silent spread with 40% of the infections. And although we don't think that our brother, our parent, or our best friend could ever give us the infection or we could give it to them, that's actually very possible. Yeah.
We also talk about 1 of every 7 residents who test positive. They're asymptomatic.
So 1 out of every 7 residents who get tested in the county test positive. Actually, 40% of the people who test positive don't have any symptoms. So they may have felt well the entire time, never had fever, never had cough. And if you asked them and you said, have you been sick lately? They would say, no, I haven't. I've been completely fine. But 4 out of 10 people who test positive don't have any symptoms and don't even realize that they're spreading infection.
And for our Spanish-speaking friends, we're going to take advantage that you're here. Doctor, buenas tardes. Explíquenos por qué es importante usar mascarilla.
La mascarilla es muy importante porque es uno de lo más efectivo, barato y fácil maneras para reducir la infección. La mascarilla protege a la persona y también las personas cerca. Y también porque nosotros no tenemos una vacuna y no tenemos una cura, la máscara es una de las únicas maneras para controlar la pandemia.
Hablamos de que un 40% de residentes que dan positivo no tienen síntomas y esto es peligroso sobre todo cuando la gente va a fiestas o reuniones.
Sí. Es muy difícil de creer, pero es la verdad. 4 en 10 personas que tienen la infección no tienen síntomas y no saben que están transmitiendo la infección a otras personas. Y nosotros también sabemos que muchos de los casos son de las fiestas y reuniones, especialmente cuando nosotros estamos con la familia o amigos. No tenemos miedo y no creemos que es posible que nuestra amiga o hermano puede transmitir la infección a nosotros, especialmente cuando las personas no tienen síntomas. Entonces es muy importante recordar a usar la mascarilla en el trabajo, en la tienda, pero también si necesita visitar a su madre para ayudar a ella en una otra casa, también muy importante usar la mascarilla en este caso.
Muchísimas gracias, doctor Lean, por su tiempo. Como siempre, un placer estar con usted. Nosotros continuamos aquí afuera del centro administrativo del condado de Riverside, donde, como pueden ver aquí a mi espalda, si podemos traer la cámara hacia acá, ya se están empezando a distribuir las cajas con las mascarillas. Cada organización no lucrativa que ha venido el día de hoy, son aproximadamente 15 de estas, están recogiendo una caja. Cada una de estas cajas tiene un total de 2,000 máscaras y estas máscaras serán entregadas a los residentes del condado de Riverside. La idea es que cada residente de nuestro condado tenga un promedio de 4 máscaras y así no tener excusa a la hora de salir de que mi máscara está sucia o no tengo máscara descartable. Recuerden que al usar esto podemos evitar el contagio del virus hasta en un 95%. Aparte de organizaciones sin fines de lucro, habrán iglesias y también negocios locales que estarán ayudándonos a distribuir 10 millones de máscaras en todo nuestro condado. Sí es cierto que la población es mucho menor, pero lo que queremos es que entre más máscaras una persona tenga, no tenga excusas para protegerse del coronavirus. Que pasen muy buenas tardes.